Hello, welcome to a very epic battle for 3rd Age Total War. We're looking at two Gondorian armies who are now going after the town of HOBBITON. From what I've been given for a backstory by the player who gave me the file to go over, it looks like the men of Gondor in the 4th Age have taken a liking after Hobbit women, and now they're coming to take them away. Let's go watch the battle for a time. If we go look over here, the initial army has Citadel Guardsmen now moving in. They're being fired upon by volleys of fire arrows by the Hobbit archers. They're like, hey, you can't have what we have. Get out of here. Gondorian horsemen will be coming in from behind. They're trailing in slowly. Back here we have dismounted Swan Knights who are moving in as well. We're looking at more Gondor archers, and they're going to be hit from various locations. I'm going to keep it in slow motion for now as we begin to look over the battlefield. They're all around the area. Gondor infantrymen are waiting. Dorwinian retainers are back here. And we have another army too. Unfortunately, it looks like they've brought in cave trolls. I'm not sure how that works out, but they do in fact have cave trolls. Maybe they've made a dark pact in the 4th Age. I don't know. Back here we have more Fountain Guardsmen. And it looks like we have a secondary army way back over here. And they're more contained. They're beginning to move in. A lot of Swan Knights we're looking at, Gondorian infantry again, and Swan Knights back here too. So we have a lot of elite infantrymen. Let's go look at what the Hobbits have, and again, their archers are actually quite effective. They're doing a lot of damage so far. Freeland militiamen are coming to help out their little Hobbit counterparts. We have quite a few of them. We have Bendabrass archers who are back here, and they're very talented. They're a little bit heavier armored than your usual Hobbit. We have a lot of Breland militia. I wonder how they'll be able to perform in a battle where the quality of soldier really goes over to Gondor. Hobbitry in arms. Look at them. Barely armored, but they're getting ready for a huge fight. And here comes Gondor again. Charging in and fighting. These horsemen are not going to be able to beat the Hobbits though. Not as they are. Their weapon should be a productive counter when attacking horsemen. Yeah, look at that. Victory is apparent for them. They're doing rather well, but here comes a troop of Swan Knights who are now going to charge into battle, and that is where it should change up. We'll begin to look all over the battle. Fortunately, in Medieval 2, unlike other Total War games, you have a very slow process in the battles where you can actually enjoy everything that is going on, and a lot of things are going to be going on at the same time. You don't have to just kind of... Oh, look at that. They've charged back in to go after more archers, right? No, there's no archers here. I don't know why they're charging into infantry like that, but that is what they're doing. They have so many... Oh yeah, here they are. They do have archers, but again, they're heavily armored and they're being supported by a lot of infantry. They should be fine because of that. They're still charging in. Let's go check out that other entry point by Army number 2 of Gondor. The archers are still skirmishing in the very front. That is the beginning of our battle. Cave trolls are already moving in. I mean, that's in the very beginning. They're going to do a lot of damage, but the Breland militiamen, while cheap, should be able to bleed them. If they can bleed them and take them out early before the Swan Knights and the remainder of the heavy infantry come into play, then maybe they'll be okay. We'll zoom in on the mini-map. That way we can see what's going on. We have another battle happening over here. Gondor infantry moving in. They're fighting more Breland militiamen. Who do you think will win? Make sure that you comment as you watch, because I'm really curious to see who you might think will win before we reach the end. I have no idea. I haven't played this, okay? I have no clue at all. So I'm actually wondering how the fight will go. These archers are doing a great job notching arrows and unleashing volleys upon a very low armored group. They have very little armor, which is why they're going to lose a lot in that battle. Though the Bendabrass archers are returning fire again, and fire arrows are again very effective at taking out pretty much anything. They can decrease morale. When you're fighting an unarmored foe, though, you definitely want to use normal arrows, but when fighting an unarmored foe, fire arrows are usually pretty effective. So Swan Knights will be a little bit tougher to take down, but still, fire arrows will do a much better job potentially at killing them. They're now being flanked by a few Hobbitry in arms. We're looking at more of them. They were able to circle around the infantry of the Gondor army, and they're able to charge in from behind. This group is kind of waiting for now. Looking at more of their horsemen flying into the battle, going after more Bendabrass archers. Let's go back to another phase of the battle. Breland militia trying to hold. I don't know how well they'll be able to serve here. They have a lot of Ithilien Rangers who have come too. 3 companies total. They're all shooting into the fray, destroying a lot of them, and I think that's where they're going to have a very tough time. The cave trolls are really interesting. Yeah, the Breland militia cannot hold. Maybe if they had something else, I mean, I don't know what. Anything else would probably help. Swarms of Gondorian infantrymen are now moving in. The hobbits are still trying. They're being commanded by men. What, you don't think a hobbit can command a group of hobbits? Alright. Do have stakes back here, but not in a very effective location. The Dunedain Rangers are here. They're even helping, but will they be enough to really change anything in the battle? I don't believe they will. Not yet. No way. Now, that's a pretty cool perspective of the fight. Check that out. On a hill. I enjoy the various types of topography that you get in Medieval 2. At times, it'll be like a crazy sheer cliff, but other times, it's rather enjoyable looking at what they have going on. For some reason, I keep gravitating towards the battle over here.
Only half the enemy force remains.
It looks like the hobbits are really getting destroyed right now. They've lost over half of their army. They're losing a lot. Let's keep on looking. Yeah, they're pushing in. They have so much heavy infantry. I don't even know if they had a chance to begin with. It's really an interesting matchup. I wonder if they designed it intentionally. I suppose they did. A narrative of Gondorian men who are like, hey, you know what? We got a fetish for Hobbit women. Let's go take them. Well, that's great. Good to know that Gondors are remaining pure. But yeah, that was the backstory given to me by the guy who sent this in. I thought it was pretty funny. They're shooting down still. Look at their arrow control. They're doing pretty well at hitting these Thorwinian retainers. Oh, they've killed a general. That would definitely change it up. Alright, let's go into slow motion for a brief moment. I'm shift-clicking the arrow over here in case you want to know how I'm doing it, so we can watch it in slow motion. I love that fine control they give you, even in your control speed. It's like that new trend out now where you do like the mannequin poses with a bunch of friends. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but yeah, it's a new trend. You have like a group of people who do impressive types of mannequin poses, and yeah, it's pretty cool. Kind of what we're doing here, but on a massive scale. I mean, it would be more proper if we were actually paused and looking, but that big ugly pause screen is still up, so we're gonna avoid that. Yeah, over here, if we look at it, their infantry is beginning to win. The horsemen were completely destroyed. They did not have a good shot. Cavalry is not going to do very well against that many soldiers who have anti-cav weapons. Ithilien Rangers are down here. They're doing well. They weren't even really hit at all, and they're very deadly. We're looking at a mixture of Breland militiamen. They have a lot left, and they have a lot of archers left too, but just not nearly enough to be able to win the fight. The day is not yet over, but we're looking at our enemies surging in. I say our enemies as if I have a side to pick. Nope, I'm a neutral observer, just here to watch.
Only half the enemy force remains.
Oh, they're telling me that again? What's it like right now? Yeah, it looks like the hobbits are definitely having a tough time. We're watching a narrative unfold of really terrible omens here. If Gondor begins here killing hobbits, where will they end? Shaving dwarf beards and taking their dwarf gems and precious metals and gems and all? I said gems again. Maybe, I don't know. Oh, look at that artillery shooting in, launching salvos, and that's going to be rather brutal. There's another one. Ballista just shooting into the fray. They are going to get a few hits on these archers. They're up on this hill, and it looks like they're about to be engaged in melee combat. There's a lot of them, but man, they don't have the line. If they had like a heavier infantry group to hold, then maybe they could have done more damage, but they are just being hit by two armies. The brilliant militiamen couldn't do anything. Let's go back down here real quick. We have a few brave Benabres archers who are still shooting, but they're now being unleashed upon by volleys from the Ithilien rangers, I can only assume. We're now beginning to kill them from behind. The Hobbitry in arms fought a lot harder than the Breland militiamen. Though they are now very tired, the fact that they've been able to kill a lot of Swan Knights is really impressive. I didn't think they would even be able to match up for that long. I thought immediately they would break. We've got some friendly fire happening a little bit from their own archers. They're hitting their own Dunedin. I'm kidding. That actually belongs to the enemy. They're not that fortunate to have Dunedin, but they do have some heavy infantry coming in, and they're very powerful, but archers will destroy them. Yeah, the Dunedin are an ally of the Hobbits for sure.
Our men are in command of the city.
Ithilien rangers are still shooting. Looks like they took a few losses, but not a lot. They're trying to take command of the square. We have only 26 archers over here left. We've got a battle happening up on the hill again. More archers shooting in. If you would like for me to try out a replay that you have, you can send it to me down below in my video description. I have my email listed. I'll even have a comment about it too. It's really difficult for me to try to plan out time periods where I can get other people to come join me on, like, let's say a third age mod. So it's always very cool when all of you send me. And plus, I like not knowing what's going to happen. Sometimes things get a little bit wacky. Now they're beginning to break. Let's zoom out. We can look at them begin to break down. The cave trolls are still going. Only 3 have died. If they had 9 at the very beginning, only 3 have gone away. They're now attacking the Orwinian retainers. I'm kidding. They're not doing that either. I'm trying to hide the truth. I'm trying to give the Hobbits a fighting chance in your minds. It's not working out, is it? No. They don't belong to them. We have a few battle-ready Dunedain left. Look at the sheer amount of bodies here. Man and Hobbit dying together. They fought hard. Yeah, the Hobbits did a much better job. I wonder if they were all Hobbits, if they would have had a better shot. The brilliant militia weren't worth a damn. Look at all the dead Benabres archers over here. Oh, they used to have parties here and eat. Bilbo Baggins had his birthday here. Turning volleys to the Ithilien rangers. Another dead enemy general. Now they'll definitely begin to break. The Hobbit archers are just moving into battle. That secondary infantry army from that second Gondorian player really delivered a decisive blow. I mean, they moved in all together. They even have guards of Osgiliath who are not guarding Osgiliath. They're being hit by more volleys from archers. But the battle is pretty much cleaned up. It looks like they have them now. It wasn't a very long battle. And a trebuchet shooting. It was actually kind of hard to keep track of everything that they had. They were all over the map, and the map is very hilly too. The cave trolls have done their part. We have 2 minutes left, it looks like. Probably a little bit less if they all break. Dunedain Rangers are now being charged upon by Swan Knights, and that is over for them too. The music is rather enjoyable for the battle. Exotic to epic. They're all beginning to swarm in. There's only a few pockets of resistance left on the map. Every bit of Hobbit life is about to be expunged from their beloved town. Benabres archers are now attempting to fight to the very last Hobbit for cake and milk. They're trying to hold. Gondor might fight for king and country, potentially. Hobbit, cake and milk. Even in melee, they can actually match up with Gondorian infantry, but they're still being cut down. It doesn't matter. There's bodies all surrounding the map. They've taken the square. They moved in, they took it, They're just cutting down more rangers who are now broken and fleeing. They have been slain. Again, not sure where the cave trolls came from. I didn't know that was like a voluntary option they had. It's a little bit strange. But again, the narrative of the idea of the backstory is that we're in the 4th Age and Gondor has kind of become sort of a bully. Here's their lines of infantrymen who remained after the battle. Let's go look at it quick. They've only lost... Actually, they did lose over half, but it doesn't matter anymore. Towards the very end, that's when the kills begin to pick up for the hobbits. Just a little bit. Hold on, what's happening over here? Hobbitry in arms are now fighting Gondorian archers.
Clear victory.
They weren't able to win, but damn, did they fight hard. They did. Okay, Mishep, or Mishep 13, whatever you want to call it, Mshep. He lost over 1,000 men, enemies killed, over 2,200, over 500 captured. Wins, which is what we'll call him, over 900 killed, 434 captured. It looks like one army did a majority of the work. He was all over the map charging in. Master Blaster lost over 2,000. Look at how many they had remaining and they were still fighting. He killed over 1,000. Lost, well, he killed over 945. He lost 2,200. Let's go look at who is rather incredible in that fight. Oh no. I didn't mean to do that.